Welcome to the opposition. And look, Wolves fans, this show is all about you. We're at Q Sports Bar in Boscombe, the place to be for pool, snooker, darts and live sport on the TV as well. For away fans, this is your home on a match day when you come to Vitality. It's a 10-minute walk from Folkestone Station and also a 10-minute walk from the stadium itself. But look, Bournemouth and Wolves, we both conceded 4 goals on the opening weekend of the season. Despite that, we get the sentiment that one fan base might be a little bit optimistic than the other. We need to talk about it. Firstly, hello Tom.
Hello Sam, you okay?
Very good, thank you. Wolves, mate, a team that we've never beaten in the Premier League at home. How confident are you?
Yeah, it's a weird one, isn't it, that? Because no disrespect to Wolves, but obviously we've beaten a lot of teams, virtually all of them, and we all seem to struggle with Wolves, particularly at our place. We've done all right at Molineux a few times, but yeah, we've always struggled with Wolves at home. So yeah, it'll be an interesting game, mate. They always cause us problems. And yeah, I know the first weekend we both conceded 4, but would you argue we both had the hardest fixtures?
Yeah.
Man City and Liverpool, do you know what I mean? So this is a big game for both teams, so I'm looking forward to it. It's always tight.
It was an emotional time at Anfield, and of course it was an emotional time at Molineux as well. Fantastic tifo from both Liverpool and Wolves, commemorating the lives of Diogo Jota, but also his brother Andre Silva as well. Let's check out the league table as it stands at the moment. And Tom, we're going to have to scroll right to the bottom to see where both our clubs are.
Hey, we're staying up, mate.
We are at the moment. We're in 16th position, but by virtue of conceding 4 without scoring, Wolves are bottom of the table.
Was Gary O'Neill at the bottom? Hey,
was he?
Hey, that's what I'm saying.
Was he? But look, it's going to be an interesting match because they are a team that you would say aren't ones that have ever, from my memory at least, of playing them at home, won't tend to come out at you and play.
No, I know what you mean, and that's not in a disrespectful way. They've always been quite organised, disciplined. Whatever coach they've had, they've always been a real difficult nut to crack, and then they've always got that threat of nicking a goal. And they've done that against us a few times. I think it was 1-0 last season. But there's been, even in the cup game that we eventually won, we felt comfortable, and then couldn't score a worldie, didn't he? But they've always been organised and a tough nut to crack. And for Wolves fans, I'll probably be happy to know, I think we're better when teams are more open. And we said this on the other show, but I think we've done better at Molineux because they're a little bit more open there because they think, right, we've got to go and beat Bournemouth.
They've got to go, yeah.
And we've caught them. I think, obviously, there was a few penalties, but we scored a few against them last time at Molineux. And yeah, we seem to have been a lot better there. And I think it's that reason, really. Whereas when they come to our place, bit more respect, and they go, let's try and nick one. We can be organised, make ourselves difficult to break down. And that's where we struggle a little bit. So it's going to be a tricky game, mate.
It always seems to be a game as well that has a sending off.
Yes, I remember Andoni's 2 games at home to Wolves in the league, in the Prem. Lewis Cook, and then Zabani.
Yeah, but also away, I remember Milos Kerkez getting sent off as well.
Oh, in the win, yeah.
I remember that.
Yeah, I do remember that. So yeah, there has been a few sendings off, and yeah, it's the 2 home games. It's really hurt us. Lewis Cook, that was before we'd won a game under Andoni, I think.
Yeah, it was. Yeah,
and then obviously the Zabani one was quite early. So neither of them will be playing. So that's something, and nor Milos. So we're fine.
Happy days. Look, I was watching the 4-0 defeat for Wolverhampton Wanderers against Manchester City, who I've got to say, I think they might be back this season. I really think they will be.
Everyone's just forgot about them.
Chatting to Stephen McInerney from Esteemed Company at the recent Creator Day, which Dazzling Dave, big Wolves fan, part of Always Wolves Fan TV, he was there as well. And he said that, I don't know why people are just completely thinking that Manchester City won't be in this race, because they will be. Pep's had his season off. I genuinely think that they could be back, and it could be. I mean, obviously Arsenal are getting Eze over the line. This could be such a good title race this season. I cannot wait to see what transpires, but it doesn't seem overly different in terms of their performance compared to what we did as well. Because yes, we scored 2, but we had our moments in that game. Wolves did as well. It wasn't all Manchester City,
particularly at the start. I remember thinking there's not a lot in this, and Wolves have had a few little half chances. You never know. The problem is against these sort of sides. That's why we were so impressed about how we reacted against Liverpool, because what often happens is you're in there, you're in the game, and then the top team, like a City, like a Liverpool, get the first goal, get the second goal, and then you kind of go, all right, okay. And that's why we were so impressed with our performance, and Wolves couldn't quite do that. But yeah, I mean, listen, you lose to City, it's no mean feat, mate. And as you said, I think they're probably back a little bit. So it's hard to kind of for them to judge themselves too much on that performance. And I think they'll be looking at this game against Bournemouth as one maybe to judge themselves a little bit more, because a few teams, and we've had this before, we had it last season, by the way, where we finished 9th, where pundits in the media go, oh, could Wolves dip? And a lot of people are saying that, forgetting that Pereira, under him, if you forget all the Gary O'Neill rubbish, they would have been like Champions League.
Well, do you remember between, was it March and April? I think they won 6 consecutive games, which was absolutely crazy. There was a drop-off after that, of course.
A little drop-off, yeah.
And I think a lot of that was probably down to the conjecture of which players that they're going to lose, which we'll, of course, come on to as well, because they are a much-changed Wolves, and you'd probably think that a lot of supporters might be wanting some new names through the door before the transfer window slam shut.
It always slams shut.
Always slams shut, doesn't it? But you can't slam a window too much because it might break. The door, but not a window.
That's a good point.
So, like we said, we're at Q Sports Bar in Boscombe. This is the place to be for Wolves fans before the game on Saturday. I tell you what, right, if you're getting off at Folkestone Station, right, turn right, walk up Christchurch Road. It's about a 10-minute walk. It's on the right-hand side. You'll see the signage up, and you can come here to enjoy a great pre-match. I tell you what, the drinks prices here.
Very good.
Bloody good value, I've got to say. The cheapest around the area. Plus, you can play pool, snooker, darts. There's English pool and American pool, by the way.
There is.
Food being served here as well. It's air conditioned as well, so it's nice and cool. Live sport on the TV. I don't know what the lunchtime game is.
What is the lunchtime game? I did look.
Have a look, Tom.
Yeah, I did look, because I always get confused now because they have a Friday night game. So I used to always think the first game was, but the early kickoff is Man City Tottenham. It's not a bad game. Not a bad game.
Yeah, not a bad game. Plus, of course, there is multi-screens as well, so there might be some Championship football going on as well. So check out Q Sports. It's the home for Wolves fans. And look, if you're at the bar, just say that Back of the Net told you to come here. We would truly appreciate it. Honestly, it's a top place to be for away fans. So, Vitor Pereira and Wolves, they'll be hoping to improve on last season, where it was a 16th place finish, but it's probably not helped by some of the names that they have lost. Of course, 2 key players by the way of
Matheus Cunha, who's not a bad footballer. So
he's gone to where? Man United?
He went to Man United.
Money.
He went to City. And it's a weird one, but I feel like we kind of bond a little bit because we've both lost so many big players. Brentford are probably with us as well, if they lose Visser. But us and Wolves, it feels like a few of the key players, we both kind of knew they'd go.
Because you said that Ainouri's like one of your highest rated fullbacks. I mean, I know there's like Anthony Robinson and other players like that, but I think he's a big player to lose.
Yeah, he is. I remember last season, Anthony Robinson's great for Fulham, but he's a bit older. And I remember last season thinking, Kirkhead and Ainouri, they're both going to get the moves. And they've both gone to 2 massive clubs. So.
But who was named in the PFA Team of the Year, though?
Don't know, mate. They've seen the come 9th. But he's really good. And obviously, Cunha's a top player. Every time we played him, I was worried about him. He looked good on the opening day for Man United, didn't he? But both teams have lost players, and both teams are kind of in that transition of kind of losing a few key players. So it'll be interesting to see how we go. The only difference, I would say, is that we seem to have got more bodies in rather than Wolves. So I wouldn't be surprised if they do a bit of late activity. And so I'm kind of quite happy that we're getting them now.
Yeah,
it's like I feel like they get some bodies in.
They also lost Guedes as well.
We saw him, Sociedad.
Real Sociedad.
Yes.
And he featured in the friendly, of course, where it was, 1-0?
Yeah, it was, And the only thing is, I know it, because people forget that he was there last season, but they did trigger the clause and they've got Strand Larsen. He was only on loan last season. And I think because of how good Cunha was, people kind of forgot about Strand Larsen. He scored some goals last season. He's all right.
23 million, wasn't it?
Yeah, but he's a handful, mate. He's a decent striker, so you've still got to keep an eye on him. And he is in my fantasy team.
Yeah, and he finished second highest scorer with 14 goals. Another player joining from Celta Vigo is attacking midfielder Fer Lopez as well. That was 21.3 million. Also joining the club, Jean Arias from Fluminense. And also, I mean, fancy having a Wolf at Wolves, but David Moller-Wolf from AZ Alkmaar, which is 12 million. So they have bought a few in.
They have bought a few in, yeah.
But there is another player that they've signed as well. And Jackson Chachua.
I think that's a good pronunciation. I think you've done that. He
was named the fastest player in Serie A.
Is he?
Yeah. With a top speed of 36.3 kilometres per hour.
And Billing was there last season.
So yeah, I mean, they are getting names through the door, but it seems like maybe a few positions need a bit of work, like centre-back, similar position to us, really, aren't they?
A little bit, and maybe another body up top. But like I say, they're back in Strand Larsen, fair play to them. I saw that, I'm not sure if it's got over the line yet, but Hwang
Yeah.
He's going to Palace.
Really?
And that just seems really odd to me that they would allow strength for the rival, if you like.
Yeah.
But it seems like that could be the case. So yeah, maybe get another striker in. But like you say, they are bringing some players in. But I'm kind of glad we're getting them. They'd probably say the same about us, to be fair. Getting them before their new players kind of bed in and before they maybe get a few more bodies in.
As Gary O'Neill always called him, Hwangy.
Hwangy.
Yeah. You know, if in doubt for a nickname, just add a Y on the end. Absolutely sorted.
Absolutely fine,
Isn't that right?
Yeah.
Tommy,
thank you.
There you go. Do you want some stats, mate, that's going to maybe make you happy or make you not? I don't know.
I'm not sure.
Right. These are Wolves-focused stats, right?
Okay.
Wolves have never lost in 5 Premier League away games against Bournemouth. We know that. Making the Cherries the side they face most often on the road without defeat in the competition. So, yeah, Wolves fans, you're going to be loving that. Of course, they had their great run last season, of course. That was, March and April. Won 6 consecutive Premier League games, scoring 13 goals, conceding just 4. In their 5 games since then, though, they have lost 4 of those, scoring just 3 goals and shipping 12, picking up fewer points than any other ever-present side since the start of May. Now, Wolves fans do not like August.
Oh,
They hate August. They absolutely despise it. Do you know why?
Go on.
Well, I think they called it right off August or something. That's that's what that's what they badge it as, because Wolves have just won in their last 22 Premier League matches to have happened in August. That was a 1-0 away at Everton. That was in 2023. So it wasn't a long time ago, but their overall win ratio in August in the competition is just 14%, the lowest of any side to have played more than 30 games in the competition. So, yeah, worthy of note.
You're not a Bournemouth fan if that don't worry you, though.
Of course.
Do you know what I mean? I'm going, no. But, that's got to end at some point.
But again, I suppose that's one of those stats that maybe underlines that they're a club that, in recent memory at least, they seem to have sold their big players relatively early in the window, and then they're quite late replacing them.
Yeah, potentially.
But that's the same as many. I mean, that's the same as us with Howson, etc. Kirk.
It's probably the same as a lot of kind of clubs like ourselves, like Wolves,
holding cards close to the chest.
a little bit, and trying to get the best deal. And yeah, that's fair enough. But I think Wolves always do it as well. In recent times in the Premier League, always seem to be that team that end better, because you kind of go, could Wolves go down? And then they just go on a run. So yeah, it's one of them things. There's always have weird stats like that. But I didn't realise they were that bad at the start of the season. But at the end of the day, this is the only time Vitor Pereira's been in charge at the start of the season, so he can change it.
Let's check out the Wolves team news then. And in terms of injuries, they're actually okay. I think Leon Chiwone, he had an ACL. That was in January sometime, so
he's long term.
You'd think it'd be on his way back soonish, because what's that, usually about 9 months or so,
something like that.
But then it's going to take a while for him to get training again, back on the grass and all that kind of stuff. Other than that, they've got pretty much a clean bill of health. Now, you've mentioned Jorgen Strand Larsen, of course. Like I say, second leading scorer, scored twice against us, of course, at Molineux. Was the first header?
Yeah, I just think he's quite a clever striker. I think he doesn't get noticed much, but I think he's got a little bit of poacher about him. I mean, listen, everyone talked about Cunha last season, and he scored 14 goals.
He's not fashionable, is he? He's not kind of...
and I think that's why people don't talk about him. But I like the look of him. I think he's still a handful, mate. And as you said, I remember at their place, we were pretty comfy in the game, but he was the only threat.
Yeah.
And he was very good.
I'm always nervous about these games. I know that AFC Bournemouth fans have got this kind of stereotypical view that Andoni, Iraola sides find it a struggle to beat a low block. I think there were some games last season that completely disprove that. However, it's one of those games where the first goal is imperative once again, isn't it?
Yeah, 100%. And I don't think Wolves are not a low block like an Ipswich were last season. Let's not be too disrespectful. They've got some players and they'll have a go. But I think it's basically reacting to the Liverpool game, which is the only game we've seen this season where the only reason we lost the game was because they got so much quality, which no disrespect, Wolves haven't got the quality Liverpool have. But it was more the fact that, we look good because Liverpool is so open, and and Wolves won't be that open, and why should they be? But they have got quality, and they will try and hurt us as well. Wolves ain't coming in to sit 10 men behind the ball and draw 0-0. They will feel like they can have a go at us. They've got some good players going forward, some new players as well. We've struggled a little bit against the 3 at the back system, which I think they'll play. Yeah. They normally do. So they'll be difficult, but I just feel like on previous, they've always been so organised, and we've just found it we've always had chances, and we found it really difficult to get a few goals in. I don't feel like at home we've ever scored more than 1 against them.
No, I know.
So we do find it difficult. So I think Bournemouth fans are just a little bit like, we like this kind of team to have a go, and maybe Wolves will be a little bit tougher. And that could be the case again.
Can't wait for your 4-0 prediction now that you've said that. Right, let's go for the Wolves side then. Here it is. And like Tom said, 3-4-3 then.
Yeah, pretty much.
Go on then, what are you going for?
Yeah, well, it's too obvious to go like unchanged at this stage and try. So I'm making a few little changes in there.
You went unchanged for Bournemouth, didn't you?
Yeah, Bournemouth don't count. Okay. Jose Sarr in goal. Matt Doherty seems to be playing that free at the moment, and he looks a bit more comfy there. Hope he's on penalties. I think he'll be in the back three with Agbadou and Totti. I'm going to go, I think it's Hoover. Is it Hoover? I don't know if it's pronounced. He was at Liverpool. He's a decent wing back, to be fair.
I'm sure he'll clean up on that right outside.
I knew you were going to do that. João Gomez and Andre in the middle. I'm actually going to bring, obviously they've got Wolf in. I'm going to bring Bueno in. I think them two will keep rotating for a bit and you know, kind of let Wolf bed in. Bellegarde, I'm going to bring in Arias on the other side. I think he's probably had a few more minutes on the training pitch. He's probably ready. He's an exciting player, mate. So I'm going to go with him and Bellegarde playing just off Strand Larsen up top.
Okay then, so what are your predictions? We would love to know. Get them in the comments now. And look, Wolves fans, if you come into Q Sports, we want you to comment, right? Just put a little emoji just so we know you're watching, because this is a great place to be. We cannot emphasise enough, this place is a place to be for away fans when you're coming to the Vitality Stadium. Better than the other places, definitely. Right, Tom.
Yeah, you want a prediction, don't you?
Come on!
Am I doing it first?
Yeah, you go first.
We were, by the way, last against Liverpool, you went 4-1, it was 4-2, and I went 3-1. Like, we done all right. I think it is going to be a tight one. I think both teams have chances. I think it's going to be really edgy, but I'm going to say we're going to nick it. So I'm going to go 1-0. I'm going to go 1-0 Bournemouth.
Boring.
Ben Gallandoke off the bench. All right? No, I think we'll nick it 1-0. What do you think?
I think they'll score.
Okay.
But I think we'll score 3.
Oh, hello.
Go for a cheeky 3-1.
3-1, Lies. Don't mind
it. We'll take that, won't we?
Don't mind it.
Hopefully it'll be a decent game. Look, Wolves fans, safe travels. I actually really like the Wolves fan base.
Yeah, I've always liked Wolves.
I think they are, I mean, you know, pretty much all Midlanders. I mean, obviously they're, you know, from the Black Country. Yeah. That's what they'll class themselves as, obviously. But they're always so grounded, so friendly. And I feel as though as the seasons have sort of gone by, we have, as a football club, as AFC Bournemouth, we've got more of a, you know, a bond with, I think you said earlier, with the teams in and around us, because we do feel it's kind of like, you know, us against them in terms of, you know, the big 6. Yeah. You could argue big 7, but I'd still say it's big 6 because Newcastle and Villa won't be putting themselves in that bracket just yet. But, you know, like everyone else, I think is, very much brothers in arms, aren't they? Yeah, because it feels like these, and credit to us all, but like we like get these good coaches in, develop these players and know that they'll move on. Yeah. And then we've got to find them again. But yeah, Wolves, similarly to ourselves and Brentford and Brighton, even a little bit higher to be fair to them. But we keep doing it. Yeah. And it's nice. I want these teams to keep doing it and going, you can sign who you want. You can sign all our best players. We'll just get another one through the door. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, I think we've come through a little bit like them. They're obviously a bigger football club, but I think, us, Brentford, Brighton have all kind of been in that mix, and even Palace to a degree, like trying to kind of, can any of us upset them lot? We gave it a little bit of a go last season. Palace did as well in the Cup, and Wolves will still be hoping to get back there again. So, look, listen, they've got a good coach now, so I think people are going about Wolves dropping a little bit. Just be careful. I think they'll be all right, you know. Yeah, they've got a good manager to oversee that for sure. Look, Wolves fans, Bournemouth fans, thank you for tuning in. We really appreciate it. Make sure you do a couple of things before you go, right? Yeah, give it a like. You like us so much. We're very nice to you. Click the bell and you'll see when all the videos are out. There'll be loads of stuff after the game as well for Wolves fans to dive into, and then click the subscribe button. That's the one that matters. We really appreciate it. Up the chairs. We'll see you in the next video. We'll see you at Dean Court. You Reds. I keep on to sing Hungry Like a Wolf, but they never come in for me to sing it. That's a banger.